guys, this is wersderf, and this is part 2 of the World of Tanks for Beginners video. And if you have not seen part 1 and you do not have an account or you have not downloaded the game yet, then I might suggest you to go watch part 1. And this is part 2, and I'll be going over some basics of World of Tanks. So once you have the game downloaded, you go to World of Tanks on your desktop. It'll open up the launcher, and you press play. And it'll load up the game, so you just wait a bit. World of Tanks. Alright. So after that is all done, it'll take you to this screen. And from this screen, you can do a couple things. 1, log in. Okay, so it'll give you this server button here, and if you're in North America, like I am, you have 2 choices: North America East and North America West. And if you're in Europe, I have no idea which servers you have. But either way, I suggest you click auto, because depending on your connection, it will decide for you which server is best. Alright, so from here, you type in your email and password that you created for your Wargaming account. And, let's see. Okay, so once you got all that, you connect. Obviously, there's no account under that email. So you type in your email and your password. We'll skip ahead so you don't see my information. Alright, now that you logged in, it'll take you to your garage, and this is the screen you see every time you log into World of Tanks. You're done with a battle. This is basically the main menu of this game, so get used to seeing this. So, down at the bottom, these are all your tanks, and if you're a new player, like brand spanking new, most likely you'll have some tanks looking more like this. This is the tier 1 tank, and you get 1 tier 1 tank from every nation. Now, if you already have seen your account, you'll know what I'm talking about, because you'll be able to see which tanks you have. I'll show you in a second. So, there are 7 nations in World of Tanks currently, and every once in a while they come out with a new nation, like Japan is quite new. Oh, hello. So, you'll get 1 tier 1 from each nation. United States, Britain, Germany, France, Russian, Chinese, and Japanese. And you'll also get it with 100% crew, but I'll explain that on a later date. So, you have all your tanks. From here, you have a couple options up here to peruse through your garage. You have the garage. When you click this, it'll show your tanks. And then you have the depot. When you click this, it'll tell you all the stuff that you have in your inventory, or stuff that you own, however you like to see it. Click here, you can see all the vehicles you own. I have quite a bit, and you can organize it by light, medium, heavy, SPG, so you can organize it by the type of tanks. It also tells you what kind of modules you have, so all the guns and all the turrets, suspension, all that jazz. It'll also tell you what kind of ammunition you have stored or on your vehicles, same with equipment and consumables. If you don't know what any of that is, stay tuned, because I'll explain it to you. So next you can go to store. I personally never use the store, because It's better to know what tank you're buying through the tech tree and where it's going to take you. So I suggest not bothering with the store unless you're going to buy consumables or equipment. But again, I'll explain what those things are soon. Next, you have service record, and this will tell you all your statistics that are available in-game. You can also look at your statistics online, worldoftanks.com, and log in and look up your profile, or you can just search your name. It'll tell you statistics, but sometimes they're not as in-depth as the statistics in-game. You can also download the World of Tanks Assistance app on your smartphone or iPod. Anyways, personal rating. This is your overall skill level, I suppose. It's a generalization of how good a player you are. Mine is 7,218, and that's pretty decent, I suppose. An average player would be 5,000, and an okay player would be 3,000. This is calculated through your win rate, the percentage of victories to losses, the damage due to your assistance, average damage per battle, average experience per battle, and battles survived. So if you see here, battles, that's how many battles I've played. It shows victories, defeats, and draws. Obviously, draws are way less common than either of the other two. Skip on over here. Victories, that's the percentage of battles that I win, 55%. This is your hit ratio. This shows the percentage of shots that you hit. An average hit ratio would probably be around 55 or 50. Average damage per battle. This tells you how much damage on average you do per battle. Pretty self-explanatory there. Average experience, same thing, but for experience. Maximum destroyed per battle. This is the maximum amount of tanks you've destroyed per battle. I have 9. Maximum experience per battle. This will tell you the most experience you've earned in a single game. Mine's 2,379. And mastery badges. This will tell you, out of all the tanks you've played, how many mastery badges you have. And down here, these are your valuable awards. Basically, they are the most prestigious awards that you've earned. And these awards down here are ones that you have not earned but are close to getting. Click over, that was summary. Click over here for awards, and this will tell you all the awards you have earned. I'm not going to go on in depth on these things because the more you play the game, the more you'll understand. But the Battle Hero awards are probably the most common, other than Master Gunner and Sharpshooter here. Top Gun, 6 kills in one game. High Caliber, do a lot of damage. Confederate, hit a lot of tanks, not destroy them. Tank Sniper, do a lot of damage from distance. Scout, spot a lot of enemies. Steel Wall, take a lot of hits. Defender, reduce the cap a lot. Invader, cap a whole bunch in game. And Scout, detect a lot of enemies, just like the other one. Okay, so that's what it is. The awards. Some of them are fun. Like up here, there is a Kamikaze Award for ramming an enemy vehicle that is a tier higher than you. And also Lucky is up here as well. Where is Lucky? Not sure where Lucky is. There it is. Lucky. Witness an enemy vehicle being shot and destroyed by another enemy vehicle. You must be 10 meters from the enemy vehicle at the moment of its destruction. So some of these awards aren't always skill-based, and sometimes they're just fun. And these ones are step awards, I would call them. You get a certain class depending on how far you are in getting the award. Next is statistics, and this is similar to the stuff that was showed on the summary page. In fact, all the statistics that are on the summary page are up here, except it goes way more in depth. It's statistics right here. Battle survived, hits, you've seen that before. Damage ratio, how many vehicles you've destroyed, for how many times you've been destroyed. A kill-death ratio, essentially. Or, I mixed that up. Destruction ratio. They're simply pretty much the same thing, except damage ratio is how much damage you deal compared to how much you take. Destruction is how many tanks you destroyed for how many times you get destroyed. Armor use efficiency, it's essentially how well you use your armor. Base capture points, the total amount of base capture points that you've had over your career. And the same thing with base defense. Average score per battle, average experience, average damage caused to enemy vehicles, average damage received, average damage due to your assistance, average amount of vehicles spotted per game, and destroyed. And these are your record scores. My max experience is 2379. Max damage I've done in a game is 7900. And max destroyed 9. And right here, this is neat. Infographics. It shows graphs for your statistics. This one, it tells you how many games per type of vehicle. This one tells you how many games per nation and by tier. And very last is your specific vehicle statistics. And right here, it tells you all the statistics for any vehicle you played. And you can sort it by the nation, the type of tank, the tier, the vehicle name, battles, victory percentage, average experience, and by the mastery badge. I usually do it by victories. And suppose you want to look at your Su-100Y statistics, like this one right here. It'll tell you all the different statistics specific to that battle, like how many battles you played, your victory percentage for that vehicle, the battle survived in that vehicle, your hit ratio for that vehicle, your damage ratio, destruction ratio, armor use efficiency, your average experience, damage caused to enemy, all this stuff that you've seen in statistics just specific for the vehicle. And you can also look at the specific awards for that vehicle, and you can see all the different awards. I got 5 top guns in my Su-100Y box tank, and so forth. So that was service record. If you want to know anything about how well you play, look at service record. Next, you have tech tree, and what tech tree is it tells you where every single vehicle in the game falls, and it's organized by tier. As you see, it goes 1 through 10. Through tech tree, you can research and buy tanks. Like I said, I suggest buying tanks through the tech tree. So I'll show you through it. So suppose you play some games in your T1 and you want to research some stuff. Well, you can research different modules, and this will show you how to get to the next tank. Suppose you want to get to the T2 medium. So you know you have to research this 37mm gun before getting onto the T2 medium, and then you have to research that with experience, and then so on. You can go through the tiers like that. And if you want to see T1 to this T2 medium, and by going down this line, you can see where this leads. Just follow the arrows, and you can see where you'll eventually end up in your tech tree for that line. So you can go through the different nations, look at all the different tanks. You can also buy premium tanks through the tech tree. You can look it up, tell you what kind of modules. Ooh, very interesting. So that's tech tree for now. I will be back to the tech tree when I talk about researching tanks. And finally, barracks. The barracks is like the garage for your crew members, and it'll tell you everything about your crew members, the ones that are in the barracks that you are not using, and the ones that are in vehicle. And you can select this right here. This is displaying all the crew members that are just in the barracks and not on vehicles. Or you can select it so it shows all the crew members that are on vehicles at the moment. And you can organize it by light tanks, all that jazz. So, you got through that. Next, up here, the top right, there's a button called Purchase Premium. Premium is sort of a subscription account that you can buy with real money or gold. And what it'll do is it'll give you an increased credit income and experience income. This is very beneficial for people that play a lot or just want to go through the tiers a little bit more. So you can do that. You have to buy it with gold, or you can buy it straight from the website. I'll explain premium tanks and buying stuff in a later episode. Gold tells you the gold currency. Gold is bought with real money. So I have 7,900 gold. And if you want to know, there is an exchange rate of gold to real money. $1 buys you 250 gold. Okay? Keep that in mind. And up here is your credits. Credits are earned in-game. You can also buy credits, but that's a little silly. Again, I'll explain that later. Credits. You earn that in-game, and you can exchange gold for credits. This free experience at the top. Free experience you can use on any tank, all right? You can get free experience by converting it from an elite tank, such as this one. You can use gold to convert it, or you get, I believe it is 5% from each game. You get a little bit of free experience every game, and you can use it on any tank. All right? That's the top right. Now, let's look at this specific tank, the T1 Cunningham. This is going to be a vehicle that you'll likely have if you are a beginner. Over to the left, it tells you the crew members that are in your vehicle. This is the commander, and this is the driver. For certain tanks, there are less crew members. There are different kinds of crew members. There are commanders, there are drivers, there are gunners, there are radar operators, and there are loaders. They each do different jobs, and they can get different skills. So let's move on from that. I'll explain everything you want to know about crews training in a later video. Up here, you can retrain your crew as a whole. You can spend credits, free or gold, to retrain your crew. This will tell you your proficiency in for your crew member for this tank. 85%. You'll start off with a crew of 100%, and the higher percentage, the better they do their job. You can also return crew to vehicle like this. I'll send the crew to barracks. They'll be in my barracks. Where are they? Right here. And then you can bring them back. Very neat feature that they just implemented a couple updates ago. So that's your crew. Moving on, over here, research. This will take you to the tank in the tech tree. And from here, you can research new modules, and by them, you can research gun, turret, radio, engine, tracks. And once again, I'll be explaining what the modules do in a later episode. This is just an overview. You can research. This will tell you how much experience you have for your tank. I have 1100, and you gain experience from battles. Over here, it'll tell you some tank statistics, hit points, weight, and load limit, engine power, speed limit, traverse speed, hull, and turret armor, standard shell damage, penetration, rate of fire, traverse speed, view range, and signal range. Down here, this will tell you which modules you have equipped onto your tank. Gun, turret, engine, tracks, radio. You'll get to know these pictures, and you'll know them in no time. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what kind of stats you have for the gun. And same with the turret, engine, tracks, and radio. Right here, these are equipment that you can mount on your tank. If you're starting off, I do not suggest you buy these because likely you will not even be able to afford them. They increase certain vehicle statistics, and you can mount 3 of them on each thing, or on each vehicle. Your ammunition. This will tell you what kinds of ammunition that you have loaded in your tank. And on the far right, you have consumables. And these are items that you can buy for specific games. Over here, you have exterior. You can use gold or credits to buy camos, emblems, and inscriptions on your tank. For permanent emblem, inscription, or camo, you can use gold or you can use credits. And depending on the tier, they get more expensive. So right here, service is one of the most common used buttons for each vehicle. Repairs, 100%, it's fully repaired. If your vehicle gets damaged in battle, it won't be 100%, and you'll have to repair it. And if it gets destroyed, same thing, you'll have to repair it after each game, unless you don't take any hits. Ammunition. You can choose what kind of ammunition you want loaded. On the top will be the standard ammunition, and these cost credits. Usually second or in the middle are gold rounds, and they're called gold rounds because they used to only be able to be bought with gold exclusively. Now you can buy them with credits, but they are incredibly expensive. So I do not suggest in the beginning to buy gold rounds. And usually the third is the type of HE round, high explosive. And you can slide these depending on what you want. It's real ergonomic in that way. Consumables, right here. You can click what kind of consumable you want. Usually the standard loadout is small repair kit, small first aid kit, and manual fire extinguisher. And whenever you use a small repair kit in game, you'll have to refill it, and you'll use that with the service button. So I don't want that. Get rid of it. Alright. And also anything, you can set it to repair automatically if you wish. So once the game is over, it'll repair automatically and resupply, so you never have to click service. So that's service. Down here on the right, these are your notification center. It'll tell you messages. It'll tell you your battle results. It'll tell you what you bought, how much it costs, and some notices by Wargaming that they send out. Down at the bottom here, we have your channels. You can search for channels that you can talk to. I almost never use this feature, but you can create a little channel and you can chat with people. Contacts. This will tell you your friends list. You can add contacts by finding them. You type in the name, find. There's me. And you just click add to friends right here. Or you can click ignore. And it'll show up here. It will not send you, if you add someone to your contacts, it will not send them an invite. So each other have to send invites to each other. Clan, it'll tell you the contacts for your clan. I'm not in clan, so it doesn't show up. Ignore, I don't ignore anyone, but if you ignore anyone, it'll show up right here. And same with disable voice messages. Alright, that's contacts. General, this is the general chat. Anyone can type a message and people will see it. Let's see if anyone responds. Long Rider 42 says moo. Alright, so that's the general channel. And Tank Companies is a different game mode that you can join up in teams of a certain amount of tanks. It's kind of complicated, and play there. So that's Tank Company. Alright, at the top here you have menu. Some of this stuff is a little out of order. I apologize for that. You click disconnect from server, it'll take you back to the menu for your login. Settings. Your general, graphics, sound, control, reticle, and marker. Certain things on here are actually important. I suggest you look at them after you played a couple games, and you'll know which ones you want. One thing that is important, enable server reticle. I personally have it off because I've always had it off. This essentially means that if you have it clicked, then it'll show exactly where your gun is pointed according to the server. If you do not have it clicked, then you can move the turret all around and you don't know exactly where it is according to the server. But if you have good connection, it does not really matter if you have that enabled or not. If you don't have good connection, you probably want to enable server reticle. But it's one of those things that if you use it in the beginning, then you'll have to use it all the time because it's something that you just get used to. All right, moving on, graphics. You can adjust your graphics. I have it set to maximum because my computer can handle it. But if you have a not so great computer, you can click recommended and the game will decide the recommended settings for your graphics. You can also adjust your filters. Since the 9.0 update, I like to keep deep filter on because it keeps the tanks looking like clay. No offense to wargaming. And details, there are specific things, little effects that you can change. Sound, here you go. You can change all your sound settings. Enable voice chat. This is for people that are in your platoon or your tank companies. You can press a button and voice chat. Or if you like to use Skype, then you can just use Skype instead of worrying about the voice chat in game. Controls, here you can change all your different controls. Pretty self-explanatory. Reticle, this will change what you want for your reticle. And essentially I keep it at the default setting just because I like it and I don't mind it changing. Certain mods can change the reticle, but I like to keep it at the standard. And marker, there are certain things you can change. Default is what it shows without pressing anything, and alternate, it'll give you different kinds of settings. So that's settings. Exit game, it'll quit you out of World of Tanks, and back to game. Back to game. Up here, tell you what server. If you want to be on East, you can click this. It'll disconnect you from West and log you into the East server. Right here, it tells you how many players are playing. So the one on the left is how many players are on this server, and the one on the right are the total amount of players. And I assume the total amount of players means both players from East and West. Right here, it'll this button, Mission Events, it'll pull up this window, and you can look at all the different missions that are going on right now. Events, you can look at it. It'll tell you what kind of discounts are happening and what kind of credit incomes. And missions are all the things that you can work towards to get cool things like an enhanced gun laying drive. And coming soon, it'll tell you the missions and events that are coming soon. Battle tutorial. This is one thing that I absolutely suggest for new players, other than watching the rest of the series. If you play battle training, it's the tutorial, and it'll tell you a lot about the game and essentially allow you to practice a little bit before you get going in game. And from playing it, you'll get some gold and some credits for completing the battle tutorial. On to the next thing. Up at the top, you have this button called Battle. If you want to play a game, click Battle. On default, it has it set to random battle. Matchmaking will find a game for you. Otherwise, you can play a cool game mode called Historical Battles. Unfortunately, not a lot of people play historical battles, so that's not popular. If you want to create a platoon, click the platoon button, and you can invite your friends and play up to. You can play with up to 3 players in a game. And when you click battle with a platoon, it'll find you a random battle, just like if you were by yourself. Team battle. This is another game mode where 5 to 7 players on a team can play against another team. Again, you can use your friends, or you can find another, search for a team. Next, tank company battle. You have to find a tank company and you'll play another battle, similar to team battles. Special battle, that's for tournaments and stuff that are hosted by Wargaming. Don't need to worry about that. And team training, if you have some friends or if you want to join a random battle, you can get into a private match. If you're used to Call of Duty terminology, you get in a private match. You can play, mess around, or whatever. If you've watched my WoT stunt tanks video, those are recorded in team training lobbies. And the only thing about team training is that you have to pay for ammunition and consumables, but repair bills, nope. So that is everything you need to know about the garage in World of Tanks. So thanks for watching part 2, and part 3 will be coming out soon. So if you want to learn anything more about World of Tanks, please subscribe so you don't miss another video. And if you like this video, then go ahead and give it a like or comment and say I'm really stupid and I'm doing a terrible job. But I prefer you not. Anyways, I'll see you later. Peace, love, and joy.